Oh my God, I can't sleep. I'm so worried about my presentation tomorrow. Is my boss going to be pleased with my work? I worked so hard. I don't know if she knows it. Oh man, what about my colleagues? Oh, that guy who always sits in front of me in those meetings. Oh my God, he hates me. He's going to totally judge everything I do. I'm going to be on my game. I'm going to prepare in advance and it'll be fine, right? It'll be okay. What else do I have to do? Ugh, I don't know. Oh gosh. What about my kid's teacher? We've been studying. I've been tutoring her in math and it's going well, but I don't think the teacher is noticing. I don't think the teacher thinks we work. She thinks we do our homework. I'm really helping her. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to the secretary first. And I'm going to ask the secretary to get a meeting with the teacher. The secretary is so helpful and she's a great liaison. Okay, I'm going to do that. That's my plan. What about my dad? I am going to get him to the optometrist day. I'm going to pick him up. Forget it. I'm going to his house. I'm going to pick him up, tell him to get his ass in the car, and we're going right to the optometrist office. He needs a checkup. Ugh, it's impossible. What am I going to do? Ugh. Sleep. Oh, can't sleep.
Hey everyone, Anna Maria here, licensed psychologist for your Wellness Wednesday. What was that? Familiar at all? Of course, we're all guilty of that. Some people have it worse than others. Over the years, when I've been talking to clients and students, they often bring up the word overthinking. I'm an overthinker, Anna Maria. I overthink things. And I've dissected that because there's no official term, right? We don't call it overthinking, in psychology. But what I've realized is that oftentimes when clients or students say that, they're referring to something called generalized anxiety. Okay, so it's a misnomer because generalized anxiety doesn't mean, oh, I have anxiety in general, right? No, it actually refers to something very specific, and it's excessive worrying. What are the characteristics of generalized anxiety? Three of them. Catastrophic thoughts, okay? What if this is going to happen? If I don't do well on my presentation, then I'm going to get fired. I'm going to lose my position. Catastrophic thinking. Fear of the unknown, and last, your desire to control the present. So I got to make sure that that thing doesn't happen in the future. So I'm going to go to my secretary. I'm going to go to the school, and instead of talking to the teacher, I'm going to talk to the secretary because she's right. So this kind of plan, this controlling. Why? You are preoccupied with the negative outcome. What do? Two things. First, realize that you're catastrophizing and that you are going down the dark path. Listen, that negative future does exist. It's possible, but you are investing way too much of your time and energy and effort and heart in imagining that negative future, being preoccupied about that negative future. There's a plethora of other possibilities that can exist for you in your future, but yet you're focusing on the negative one. So of course it's allowing more airtime for the other possibilities. Now that's a strategy that could work. My favorite one, and what really does the job, is the what if game. Essentially, and this is really hard to do at first and a really hard concept to grasp, but the what if game essentially is, well, what if that worst case scenario happens? Okay, my best example is, what if I get cancer? When you are crippled by that fear, it's, oh my God, cancer, and it's this crippling. You're crippled, you're frozen, and I understand that. It would be horrible for you to get a cancer diagnosis. But one of the things that I do with my clients when they're ready, what if you get cancer? Because the world doesn't stop in a sense, because if you get cancer, you will be going to the doctors. You will you'll be getting, I like to say, you'll be getting a medical degree on your body and what's going on inside. Maybe you're going to an acupuncturist. Maybe you're going to a nutritionist for the first time. Maybe you're getting a second and third medical opinion. There's a lot of things that you're going to be doing after the cancer diagnosis that doesn't necessarily have to cripple you. I also like to go the empowerment route. If that bad thing happens in the future, you're going to put up a freaking fight, right? It's almost like you're so scared of that thing happening that you're going to be dwarfed by it and victimized by it. You know, what if you kick its ass? There's that possibility as well that we like to do. Another thing, though, of course, is we have to talk about the unfortunate future. If something negative does happen, how can it actually be okay? I know it's not okay to have cancer, but I know it's not okay if you die. I get that. But we actually have to go further and say, well, what if you die? What happens to your family? What happens to your kids? You know, and we have to get to the point where it has to be okay in some capacity that your worst fear happens. What if you get fired, right? What if you don't get the position? We have to go there because it is a type of exposure therapy. You know, your friends and family are there to tell you, no, don't worry, it's not going to happen, and that's their job. But in therapy, you know, if you like this strategy, we're going to be doing some imaginal exposure so that you are no longer crippled by your deepest and darkest fear. So, when you are rolling over in bed, think about what you're worried about. And either you can consider the plethora of other possibilities that exist, not just the negative one. You can do that. Or, you know, when you're ready, you want to do some therapeutic work. What if I don't get the position? What if I screw up? What's going to happen to me? And you have to find a way to make it okay. Good luck with all this. Leave us some comments with your experience.